Welcome to WooEnglish, where we journey together through captivating stories to help you learn English. Today, we're about to embark on an adventure inspired by the epic tale War and Peace. Each chapter is crafted with clear and simple sentences, perfect for B1 level learners. Our story is designed not just to enhance your English skills, but to immerse you in a narrative filled with drama, hope, and the resilience of the human spirit. If you enjoy our storytelling journey, please show your support by pressing the like button. Your likes encourage us and reward our efforts to bring you more exciting stories. We'd also love to hear from you in the comments. Share your thoughts, insights, or how this story has helped you in your English learning journey. Now let the story begin. Chapter 1. The Spark of Conflict. In a land far away, two great families stand on the brink of a vast conflict. This land, once peaceful and prosperous, now finds itself divided by deep-rooted rivalries and the thirst for power. As clouds of war gather on the horizon, the people of this land prepare for a struggle that will test their courage, their loyalty, and their very hearts. Our tale begins in the bustling city at the heart of this troubled land, where the two families, the Pavlovs and the Ivanovs, live. For generations, these families have been rivals, competing for influence and power. But now, as war looms, their rivalry takes on a new and dangerous edge. The Pavlovs are known for their wealth and influence in the city. They live in a grand mansion with gardens that stretch as far as the eye can see. The head of the family, Alexander Pavlov, is a man of great ambition. He dreams of expanding his family's power and is prepared to use the coming war to achieve his goals. His daughter, Eleanor, however, dreams not of power, but of peace. She sees the coming conflict as a tragedy that will bring only suffering. Across the city, the Ivanovs are preparing for war in their own way. The family is known for their bravery and strength in battle. The head of the family, Mikhail Ivanov, is a seasoned warrior, respected by all who know him. His son, Nikolai, shares his father's courage, but also harbors a deep sense of justice. He questions the need for war and the pain it will bring. As the war draws closer, the city becomes a place of tension and fear. People speak in hushed tones about the battles to come, and families bid tearful farewells to those who are leaving to fight. One day, in the city's bustling market, a chance encounter between Elena Pavlov and Nikolai Ivanov sparks an unlikely friendship. Despite their families' rivalries, they find in each other a shared hope for peace. They talk of their dreams for a land free from war, where people live together in harmony. But their dreams are threatened by the realities of the approaching conflict. Alexander Pavlov, seeing an opportunity to weaken the Ivanovs, secretly plans a betrayal that will ensure his family's dominance. Meanwhile, Mikhail Ivanov prepares his forces for battle, knowing that the survival of his family and their way of life is at stake. The day of the first battle arrives. It is a day that will change the lives of all who are caught in the conflict. The Pavlovs and the Ivanovs, once merely rivals, are now enemies in a war that will determine the fate of their land. As the two families face each other on the battlefield, Elena and Nikolai hold on to their hope for peace. They know that the true enemy is not the family on the other side of the field, but the war itself. They dream of a day when the swords will be laid down and the families will live in peace once more. The battle rages on, and the cost of the conflict becomes all too clear. The land is scarred by the fighting, and many lives are lost. But even in the darkest moments, there are glimmers of hope. acts of bravery and kindness shine through the chaos, reminding everyone that even in war, there is humanity. As the war continues, Eleanor and Nikolai work together in secret to find a way to end the conflict. They meet in hidden places, planning and dreaming of a peaceful future. Their bond grows stronger, a beacon of hope in a time of despair. In the end, the war reaches a turning point. A great battle, larger and more devastating than any before, is fought. It is a battle that will decide the outcome of the war and the fate of the families. When the dust settles, the landscape of the land and the lives of its people are forever changed. The Pavlovs and the Ivanovs, once consumed by their rivalry, now see the futility of their conflict. The war has brought them only loss and sorrow. In the aftermath, as the people of the land begin to rebuild, there is a new sense of unity. The families come together, not as rivals, but as allies in the task of healing their wounded land. Elena and Nikolai, their love tested but unbroken, stand as a symbol of the peace that can be found even after the greatest of conflicts. And so, our tale concludes with the land at peace once more. The war, with all its pain and suffering, has taught a valuable lesson. It is not through conflict, but through cooperation and understanding that true power is found. The families, once divided, now work together for the prosperity of their land, and the people look to the future with hope in their hearts. Chapter 2. The Call to Arms. As dawn breaks over the land, a call to arms echoes through every city, town, and village. It is a summons that cannot be ignored, a demand for all young men to stand in defense of their nation. This call marks a turning point, a moment when the lives of many will change forever. In the heart of the city, where the grand mansions of the Pavlovs and Ivanovs stand, the call to arms stirs a mix of emotions. Families gather, holding close to one another as the reality of the situation sinks in. For the young men of these families, the call is a test of their bravery, their loyalty to their country, and their personal convictions. Nikolai Ivanov, with his strong sense of justice, feels the weight of the decision before him. To fight in the war is to defend his home and family, but it also means stepping into a conflict that he questions deeply. His father, Mikhail, a seasoned warrior, sees the call as a duty that cannot be denied. He prepares Nikolai, sharing with him the lessons of courage and strength that have been passed down through generations. Across the city, in the Pavlov mansion, Alexander Pavlov sees the call to arms as an opportunity. He speaks to his son, urging him to seize the moment to prove himself and bring honor to their family. His words are filled with ambition, but his son, feeling the heavy burden of expectation, is torn between his desire to make his father proud and his own doubts about the war. Elena Pavlov, hearing the call, fears for the future. She knows that it will take her friends and loved ones away, possibly forever. She speaks with Nikolai, sharing her worries and her hope that their dreams of peace will not be lost in the turmoil of war. As the day of departure arrives, the city is filled with the sounds of farewells. The young men, dressed in the uniforms of their country, gather in the square. There is a sense of unity among them, a bond forged by the shared destiny they now face. But beneath this unity, there is also fear, uncertainty, and the unspoken questions about the war and its purpose. Nikolai stands among his fellow soldiers, his thoughts turning to his family, to Eleanor, and to the uncertain future. He feels the weight of his father's expectations, the hope of his mother, and the fear in Elena's eyes. As he looks around, he sees the same mix of emotions reflected in the faces of his comrades. The city bids them a grand farewell, with speeches and promises of glory. Yet, as they march out, leaving behind the familiar streets and faces, the pomp and ceremony fade, leaving only the road to war ahead. The journey to the front lines is long and arduous. The young men, once full of bravado, now face the realities of their decision. The march through the countryside, away from the safety of their homes, brings them face to face with the enormity of the war. They see villages affected by the conflict, families torn apart, and the scars left on the land. Nikolai, during the long nights around the campfire, finds himself in deep conversation with his comrades. They speak of their fears, their hopes, and the reasons they fight. Some speak of duty and honor, others of the love for their families, and a few, like Nikolai, share their doubts and dreams of peace. As they draw closer to the front lines, the sounds of battle become a constant reminder of what lies ahead. The initial excitement of the call to arms fades, replaced by a grim determination. The young men realize that they are part of something much larger than themselves, a conflict that will test them in ways they cannot yet imagine. Finally, they arrive at the front lines. The reality of war greets them with its full force, the chaos, the noise, and the fear. They see the veterans, soldiers who have been fighting for months or even years, and in their eyes, they see a reflection of what they might become. Nikolai, standing on the edge of his first battle, knows that the time for questioning has passed. Now he must fight. He must face the enemy, protect his comrades, and survive. The call to arms has brought him here to this moment of truth. Chapter 3. The Bonds of Friendship. As the war unfolds, casting its long shadow over the land, the young soldiers find themselves in a world far removed from the one they left behind. Amidst the chaos and the fear, something unexpected begins to blossom. Friendships, strong and true, born out of the shared trials of war. Nikolai Ivanov, standing firm on the front lines, discovers an unlikely friend in Andrei, a fellow soldier from a distant part of the country. Andrei, with his quick smile and unwavering courage, becomes a source of strength for Nikolai. In the quiet moments away from the battle, they share stories of their homes and families, finding solace in their shared experiences. Back in the city, Elena Pavlov, despite the distance from the battlefield, plays her part in the war effort. She volunteers at the local hospital, caring for the wounded soldiers who return from the front. It is here that she meets Maria, a nurse whose brother is fighting alongside Nikolai. Elena and Maria, brought together by their concern for those they love, quickly form a bond. Their friendship is a beacon of hope in the dark days of war, reminding them that they are not alone. As the conflict escalates, so too does the strength of these newfound friendships. Nikolai and Andrei, facing the horrors of war together, come to rely on each other, not just for survival, but for the camaraderie that keeps their spirits alive. In the darkest moments, when fear threatens to overwhelm them, they find courage in their friendship. They save each other's lives more than once, not only through acts of bravery on the battlefield, but through the emotional support they provide each other. Meanwhile, Eleanor and Maria's friendship grows deeper as they share the burden of waiting and worrying. They spend long hours together, comforting the injured and sharing hopeful stories of the day when the war will end. Their friendship becomes a symbol of the resilience of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the midst of suffering, there can be light and companionship. But the war is relentless, and it tests these bonds of friendship in ways none of them could have imagined. A fierce battle takes place, one that will determine the fate of many, including our heroes and their friends. Nikolai and Andrei find themselves in the heart of the fight, where the noise is deafening and the air is thick with fear. They fight side by side, protecting each other, but the chaos of battle is unpredictable. In a moment of grave danger, Andrei is wounded, and it falls upon Nikolai to carry him to safety. Despite the risk, Nikolai refuses to leave his friend behind. With strength born of desperation and loyalty, he manages to bring Andrei to the medics. The ordeal is a harrowing reminder of the fragility of life and the strength of the bonds formed in the shadow of war. Back at the hospital, the news of the battle brings a wave of anxiety. Elena and Maria wait anxiously for any word of their loved ones. When Nikolai finally returns, bringing with him the injured Andrei, the relief and joy are palpable. The reunion is a poignant moment, a testament to the enduring nature of friendship and love in the face of adversity. In the weeks that follow, as Andrei recovers, the group of friends finds solace in each other's company. They share their hopes and fears, their dreams for the future. They speak of the day when the war will be over and they can return to their homes and families. But for now, they take comfort in the knowledge that they have each other. Chapter 4. The Siege of Hearts. In the heart of the war-torn land, the battle rages on, but a different kind of struggle unfolds far from the front lines. This is the Siege of Hearts, where the war's true cost is measured not in victories or defeats, but in the hopes and fears of those left behind. Elena Pavlov finds herself caught in this siege, as each day brings news of battles, of heroes fallen, and of uncertain futures. The city, once bustling with life, now holds its breath under the shadow of war. Elena, like so many others, waits for letters that come all too infrequently, each word from the front line, a precious link to Nikolai, fighting far away. Meanwhile, Maria, whose brother Andrei lies recovering from his wounds, faces her own battle. The hospital, filled with the wounded, is a constant reminder of the cost of war. She throws herself into her work, caring for the soldiers, trying to mend not just their physical wounds, but the scars left on their spirits. It's a way to keep the worry at bay, a way to feel closer to her brother and the friend she has found in Elena. As the war drags on, the city feels the strain. Food becomes scarce, and the nights grow longer. The once grand mansions of the Pavlovs and Ivanovs stand as silent witnesses to the change, their families drawn together in their shared worry for Nikolai and Andrei. Elena's father, Alexander Pavlov, watches his daughter closely. The war has taken a toll on her, the vibrant spirit dimmed by worry and waiting. He too feels the weight of the conflict, the uncertainty of his family's future. Yet, in these trying times, a new understanding grows between father and daughter. They find comfort in their shared hope for peace, for a return to days filled with laughter and light, rather than the somber tones of war. In the quiet moments of the night, Elena writes to Nikolai. Her letters are filled with the small details of life in the city, the stories of their friends, and her unwavering belief in their future together. Each word is a promise, a beacon of hope sent across the miles that separate them. Nikolai, on the battlefield, clings to these letters as one might a lifeline. They are a reminder of what he is fighting for, of the love and life that await him. In his darkest moments, it is the thought of Elena, of returning to her, that gives him the strength to carry on. As winter approaches, the siege of hearts grows ever more challenging. The cold seeps into the bones of the city, into the very hearts of its people. Yet, even as the darkness deepens, there are moments of light, of warmth that defy the cold. One such moment comes when Andrei, now recovered, returns to the city. His arrival is a cause for celebration, a brief respite from the worry and waiting. For Maria, it is a reunion filled with tears and laughter, a moment of profound relief. And for Elena, it is a reminder that hope is not in vain, that some do return from the war. The bonds between these friends, forged in the fire of war, grow stronger. They come together in the evenings, sharing stories and dreams. In these moments, the war feels far away, and the siege of hearts is momentarily lifted. Yet, the war is never far from their thoughts. They know that peace is still a distant dream, that the coming months will bring more battles, more waiting. But in the strength of their friendship, in the love that binds them, they find the resilience to face whatever may come. As the chapter closes, the city and its people stand as a testament to the enduring spirit of humanity. Despite the siege of hearts, despite the shadows cast by war, there is still light, still hope. For Elena, Maria, and their loved ones, the fight goes on, not just on the battlefield, but in the daily struggle to keep hope alive, to believe in a future where peace reigns and love triumphs over all. This tale of love and waiting, of hope and resilience, speaks to the universal experience of those touched by war. It is a reminder that even in the darkest times, the human heart possesses the strength to endure, to find light amid the darkness, and to keep the flame of hope burning bright. Chapter 5. The Duel of Fates. In the heart of a war-torn land, where every day is a battle for survival, a dramatic confrontation is about to unfold. This is not just any battle, but a duel of fates, a clash between two key figures whose personal conflicts mirror the larger struggle engulfing their nation. This duel represents more than just a fight between two individuals. It is a symbol of the ongoing war between opposing sides, each fighting for their own beliefs and futures. As dawn breaks, the two adversaries prepare for the duel. On one side stands Ivan, a brave and respected soldier from the Pavlov family. Known for his skill in battle and unwavering loyalty to his cause, Ivan carries the hopes and expectations of his family. On the other side is Dmitri, a formidable opponent from the Ivanov family, equally renowned for his courage and determination. The rivalry between the Pavlovs and the Ivanovs has deep roots, and this duel is but the latest chapter in a long history of conflict. The ground chosen for the duel is an open field just outside the city, a neutral space where the personal and the political will collide. As the sun rises, casting long shadows across the battlefield, a tense silence falls over the onlookers. The air is thick with anticipation, each breath a reminder of the stakes at play. Ivan and Dmitri stand facing each other, their expressions a mix of resolve and regret. Both understand the gravity of what is about to happen. This duel is not just about personal honor. It is about proving the strength and righteousness of their respective families and, by extension, their sides in the war. With a nod from the appointed referee, a figure respected by both families for his impartiality, the duel begins. The two combatants move with precision, their years of training evident in every step and swing. The clash of their swords rings out, a stark melody against the backdrop of war. As they fight, it becomes clear that this is more than a physical battle. It is a struggle of ideals, a test of wills. Ivan fights for the legacy of his family, driven by a sense of duty and the desire to protect his loved ones. Dmitri, on the other hand, is motivated by a deep-seated belief in justice and the hope for a future where peace prevails. The duel is intense, with both participants equally matched. They exchange blows, parrying and attacking with skill and determination. But as the fight continues, it becomes apparent that this duel will not have a clear victor. Each strike, each maneuver, only serves to highlight the futility of their conflict. In a decisive moment, both Ivan and Dmitri find themselves at an impasse, their swords locked in a stalemate. Locked in each other's gaze, they see not just an enemy, but a reflection of themselves, a person caught in the web of a war they did not choose, fighting for reasons that suddenly seem distant and unclear. The referee, witnessing this moment of realization, calls an end to the duel. The onlookers, expecting a decisive victory, are left to ponder the outcome. Ivan and Dmitri, however, understand the truth that has emerged from their confrontation. The real enemy is not the person standing opposite them, but the war that has torn their land and their lives apart. As they sheathe their swords, a mutual respect forms between Ivan and Dmitri. They recognize in each other the strength and honor that comes not from winning battles, but from understanding the true cost of war. This duel of fates, rather than deepening the divide between their families, serves as a turning point. It becomes a symbol of the possibility of reconciliation, of finding common ground even in the midst of conflict. The aftermath of the duel is a time of reflection for both families. The Pavlovs and the Ivanovs, long entrenched in their rivalry, begin to see the futility of their feud. Inspired by the courage and insight of Ivan and Dmitri, they start to question the path of war and consider the potential for peace. This chapter, though filled with the drama of a duel, speaks to a deeper truth. It reveals the power of personal conflict to reflect larger struggles and the potential for individuals to change the course of history. In the end, the duel of fates is not about who is right or wrong, but about recognizing the humanity in one's adversary and finding a way forward together. As our heroes return to their lives, changed by the experience, they carry with them a new understanding. The path to peace is fraught with challenges, but it is through facing these challenges, through understanding and respect, that true resolution can be found. This lesson, learned in the heat of battle, becomes a guiding light in the darkness of war, a beacon of hope for a future where unity and peace prevail. Chapter 6. The Whisper of Strategies. As the echoes of the duel fade, the focus shifts from the battlefield to the quiet, shadowed rooms where the future of the war is being shaped. Here, away from the clamour of battle, leaders and generals gather around maps strewn with markers and flags, plotting their next moves in the great game of war. This is a world of strategy and foresight, where the decisions of a few will determine the fate of many. In a dimly lit room, heavy with the weight of responsibility, General Petrov stands before his fellow officers. The air is tense, each person aware of the critical moment they face. The general, a seasoned leader known for his tactical brilliance, outlines the plan for the upcoming battle. His voice is steady, but his eyes betray the burden he carries, the knowledge that his decisions will lead some to victory and others to their final rest. Meanwhile, in a grand hall adorned with the banners of their ancestors, the council of the Pavlov family convenes. Alexander Pavlov, the head of the family, presides over the meeting, his gaze fixed on the large map before him. With his advisers at his side, he considers the intelligence brought by spies and scouts. The information is a puzzle, each piece a clue to the enemy's intentions. Alexander knows that to win this war, he must think several steps ahead, anticipating his adversary's moves while concealing his own. Across the land, in a similar chamber, the Ivanovs hold their council. Mikhail Ivanov, with his years of experience on the battlefield, listens intently to his generals. They debate various strategies, weighing the risks and rewards of each. Mikhail's son, Nikolai, now returned from the front, offers insights gained from his time in battle. The conversation is a blend of old wisdom and new perspectives, a testament to the complexity of warfare strategy. As these leaders and their councils deliberate, the chapter reveals the intricate dance of war. Each move on the map represents a battalion, a ship, or a squadron, but also the lives of countless soldiers. The generals and family heads understand this. Their discussions are punctuated by moments of silence, a solemn acknowledgement of the stakes at play. The strategies devised in these meetings are diverse. One plan involves a feint, drawing the enemy into a trap where they can be surrounded and defeated. Another strategy focuses on securing key supply lines, starving the enemy of resources. A third proposal suggests a diplomatic approach, seeking to exploit divisions within the enemy's ranks. As the plans take shape, messengers are dispatched, carrying sealed orders to the far corners of the land. The wheels of war are set in motion, guided by the whispered strategies of those in command. Yet, amid the planning and plotting, there is a recognition of the unpredictable nature of war. For all their schemes, the leaders know that the fog of battle can render the best-laid plans moot. They understand that courage, chance, and the human spirit play roles no strategist can predict. The chapter closes with the leaders and generals returning to their quarters, the weight of their decisions heavy on their shoulders. They have done all they can to prepare for the battles to come. Now, they must wait and watch as their strategies unfold on the field of conflict. This glimpse behind the scenes of warfare strategy offers a stark reminder of the complexity and gravity of war. It is a game of chess played with nations, where each move is fraught with peril and the shadow of loss looms large. Yet it also highlights the importance of leadership, wisdom, and the courage to make difficult decisions in the darkest of times. Chapter 7. The Shadows of Spies. In the shadowy world of espionage, where secrets hold the power to change the course of war, spies move silently, their lives cloaked in danger and mystery. This chapter delves into the thrilling yet perilous lives of these unsung heroes who navigate enemy lines to gather crucial intelligence. As night falls over the war-torn land, a lone figure moves stealthily through the darkness. This is Alexei, a skilled spy for the Pavlovs, trained in the art of deception and reconnaissance. His mission is to infiltrate the enemy's stronghold and return with information that could turn the tide of the war. The night is his ally, concealing his movements as he evades patrols and slips past the guards. Meanwhile, deep within enemy territory, Sophia, a spy for the Ivanovs, uses her wit and charm to gather secrets from unsuspecting officers. Disguised as a nurse, she listens carefully to the soldiers' conversations, piecing together the fragments of information that could prove vital to her cause. Her heart races with the thrill of the chase, but she never lets her fear show. Every word she overhears, every document she glimpses, brings her closer to the truth. Both Alexei and Sophia know the stakes of their clandestine work. Discovery would mean not just their own demise, but potentially disastrous consequences for their families and their side in the war. Yet, driven by a sense of duty and the hope of bringing an end to the conflict, they press on, each step forward a dance with danger. Alexei's journey takes him through treacherous terrain, evading traps and dodging enemy scouts. His training has prepared him for this, but nothing can truly ready a person for the reality of espionage. Every shadow might conceal an enemy. Every sound could be the precursor to capture. Yet, with steady resolve, he advances, guided by the belief that his actions will help secure peace. Sophia's role requires a different kind of bravery. Within the enemy camp, she must maintain her facade, her every action scrutinized by those around her. A single mistake, a moment's hesitation, could reveal her true identity. But Sophia is adept at the game of deception. She navigates the perilous waters of espionage with grace, her mind always 2 steps ahead. As the days pass, Alexei and Sophia collect the pieces of the puzzle, each bit of intelligence a weapon in its own right. They learn of planned attacks, of weaknesses in the enemy's defenses, of shipments of supplies that are the lifeline of the war effort. This information, once returned to their leaders, could save thousands of lives and hasten the end of the war. The moment of truth arrives when both spies must make their daring escape. Alexei, having obtained detailed plans of an upcoming offensive, evades capture with a combination of cunning and luck. His heart pounds as he races back to his own lines, the precious documents hidden within his coat. Sophia's exit is no less dramatic. Discovered by a suspicious officer, she relies on her quick thinking to evade arrest. A daring leap from a window, a breathless chase through the streets, and finally, a leap into the river that marks the boundary between enemy territory and safety. Both Alexei and Sophia return to their respective sides, weary but triumphant. Their information is quickly put to use, leading to victories that shift the balance of the war. They are hailed as heroes, though few will ever know the full extent of their courage and sacrifice. The chapter closes with a reflection on the role of espionage in war. In the shadows, away from the glory of the battlefield, spies like Alexei and Sophia play a crucial role in the fate of nations. Their work, fraught with danger at every turn, requires a unique blend of courage, cunning, and commitment. Through their eyes, we see the war from a different perspective, not just as a clash of armies, but as a battle of wits and wills. In the end, the shadows of spies remind us that the path to victory is often hidden, requiring the bravery of those willing to venture into the dark to bring light to their cause. Chapter 8. The March Through Winter. As winter descends upon the land, the soldiers brace themselves for a new enemy, one that is relentless and indiscriminate in its assault: the cold. The march through winter is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a battle not just against the opposing forces, but against the very elements themselves. The first snowfall finds the troops on the move, their breaths turning to mist in the frigid air. The once vibrant landscape is now a blanket of white, beautiful yet treacherous. Each step forward is a triumph against the snow that seeks to slow them down, against the wind that cuts through their coats, chilling them to the bone. Nikolai and his comrades, wrapped in their thick coats and scarves, press on. The camaraderie that binds them grows stronger with each hardship they face together. They share stories to keep their spirits up, reminisce about warmer days, and dream of the warmth of home. But beneath their words, there's an unspoken fear. Winter has claimed the lives of many soldiers before them, and they know they must be vigilant. Food becomes scarce, and the troops are forced to ration their supplies. Hunger gnaws at their bellies, adding to the toll of the march. Nikolai watches as his fellow soldiers become shadows of their former selves, their strength waning with each passing day. Yet they do not despair. They share what little they have, their shared suffering forging an unbreakable bond. The nights are the hardest. As darkness falls, the soldiers huddle together for warmth, their tents offering little protection against the cold. The howling wind is a constant companion, a reminder of the hostile world outside. Sleep is fleeting, snatched in brief moments between the shivering. It is during these long nights that Nikolai thinks of Elena, of her warmth and her light. The thought of her is a beacon in the darkness, guiding him through the night. The march continues, the soldiers leaving a trail of footprints in the snow, a testament to their determination. They cross frozen rivers, the ice creaking ominously beneath their weight. They climb snow-covered hills, their legs burning with the effort. Each step is a victory, each mile conquered a step closer to their goal. But winter is not their only adversary. Enemy patrols lurk in the shadows, waiting for an opportunity to strike. The soldiers must be ever vigilant, their weapons ready. An ambush in the snow leaves no room for escape, and each encounter with the enemy is a deadly dance. Nikolai finds himself face to face with an enemy soldier, their breaths mingling in the cold air. In that moment, there is a mutual recognition of their shared humanity, a silent acknowledgement of the absurdity of their conflict. But survival leaves no room for such reflections, and Nikolai does what he must. The toll of the march is evident in the faces of the soldiers, in their weary eyes and frost-bitten hands. Yet, amidst the suffering, there is a sense of pride. They have faced winter's wrath and endured. They have proven their strength not just to their enemies, but to themselves. As winter's grip begins to loosen, the soldiers emerge from the ordeal transformed. They are no longer the same men who set out on the march. They have been tested by the elements, by hunger, and by the enemy. They have witnessed the fragility of life and the strength of the human will. The chapter closes with the soldiers gathered around a small fire, its warmth a luxury they had almost forgotten. They share stories of their ordeal, of moments of despair and acts of heroism. They talk of those who did not survive the march, their voices low with grief. But there is also a sense of hope in their words, a belief that the end of winter signifies a turning point in the war. The march through winter is a harrowing journey, but it is also a story of survival, of the bonds forged in the face of adversity. It is a reminder that, even in the darkest of times, there is light to be found in the solidarity of comrades and the strength of the human spirit. Chapter 9. The Flames of Rebellion. In the heart of the war, amidst the chaos and the clamour of battles, a different kind of storm brews, one not of swords and guns, but of hearts and minds. This chapter tells the tale of rising discontent, of the kindling of rebellion, and of the quest for something more profound than victory, peace and freedom. As winter's chill begins to thaw, the soldiers, weary from endless battles and the harshness of the previous months, find themselves grappling with a new enemy: doubt. Whispers of dissent spread through the camps like wildfire, fueled by the hardships endured and the longing for home. These whispers grow louder. becoming voices of frustration and anger. Voices that question the very purpose of their fight. Among the ranks of the Ivanovs, a young soldier named Alexei becomes the unexpected voice of this brewing discontent. Having joined the war with dreams of glory and honor, Alexei soon finds himself disillusioned by the reality of conflict. The loss of his comrades, the suffering of the innocent, and the endless cycle of violence lead him to question: for whom and for what are they truly fighting? Similarly, within the Pavlov forces, a seasoned veteran named Boris begins to echo Alexei's sentiments. Boris, once a fervent believer in the cause, has seen too much of war's cruelty. He dreams of peace, of a return to a life where the sword can be replaced by the plough. Boris and Alexei, though on opposite sides of the conflict, share a common vision, a vision of a world where freedom and peace are more than just distant dreams. As the days pass, the spirit of rebellion spreads, gaining momentum. Small acts of defiance begin to emerge within both camps. Soldiers, once obedient and disciplined, start to question their orders, their leaders, and the war itself. This growing unrest does not go unnoticed by the generals and commanders, who view it as a threat not just to their authority, but to the war effort itself. The turning point comes when a group of soldiers, led by Alexei and Boris, refuse to advance into what they see as an unnecessary and bloody battle. This act of mutiny, bold and unprecedented, sends shockwaves through the ranks. It forces everyone, from the highest general to the lowliest private, to confront the war's true cost. Faced with the threat of punishment, Alexei, Boris, and their followers stand firm, their resolve only strengthened by the adversity they face. They speak out, not just for themselves, but for all who have suffered in the silence. Their demand is simple yet revolutionary: an end to the war, an end to the senseless loss of life, and the beginning of a dialogue towards peace. The flames of rebellion, once ignited, proved difficult to extinguish. Across the land, in towns and villages, the people begin to take notice. The soldiers' courage inspires a wave of support, not just for the mutineers, but for their cause. Citizens, who have long borne the war's burdens, join their voices with those of the soldiers, calling for change, for an end to the conflict that has taken so much from so many. The leaders, faced with this unexpected uprising, find themselves at a crossroads. They can choose to meet dissent with force, to quell the flames of rebellion through suppression and violence, or they can listen, recognizing the courage it takes to stand for peace in a time of war. As the chapter closes, the outcome of the mutiny remains uncertain. But one thing is clear: the war has changed. It is no longer just a battle for territory or power, but a struggle for the very soul of the nation. Alexei, Boris, and their comrades have sparked a debate that transcends the battlefield, a debate about what kind of future they wish to build from the ashes of conflict. This tale of rebellion, of soldiers daring to dream of peace, serves as a reminder that even in the darkest times, there is hope. It is a call to all who hear it to question, to challenge, and to seek a better path. For in the end, true victory lies not in conquering lands or enemies, but in conquering the heart's despair and lighting the way to a future of peace and freedom. Chapter 10. The Dance of Diplomacy. In a world torn by war, a glimmer of hope emerges from the most unexpected of places: the quiet, tension-filled rooms where diplomats gather to weave the fragile threads of peace. This chapter explores the intricate dance of diplomacy, a delicate balance between rivalry and the shared desire for an end to the conflict. As the chapter unfolds, we are introduced to two key diplomats, Ivan from the Pavlov side and Dmitri from the Ivanov faction. Both men are seasoned negotiators, well versed in the art of diplomacy. They carry with them not just the hopes of their families and comrades, but the collective yearning for peace that resonates across the war-torn land. The negotiations take place in a neutral location, a grand estate that stands untouched by war, its grandeur a stark contrast to the devastation that lies beyond its gates. Here, Ivan and Dmitri meet, their initial greetings marked by a cautious respect. Behind their polite smiles lies the knowledge that the fate of many rests on their ability to find common ground. The negotiations are a meticulous process, each word weighed for its potential to either bridge gaps or widen them. Ivan and Dmitri, aware of the heavy burden they bear, tread carefully, their discussions covering the myriad issues that fuel the conflict. Territory, power, and the future governance of their land are topics that demand careful negotiation. Amidst the formal talks, informal moments allow Ivan and Dmitri to see beyond their roles as diplomats. Over meals shared in the estate's dining hall, they discover mutual respect and understanding. They speak of their families, their hopes for the future, and the toll the war has taken on both sides. These moments of human connection become the foundation upon which trust is slowly built. As the days turn into weeks, the negotiations progress, marked by small victories and inevitable setbacks. The dance of diplomacy is complex, with each step forward accompanied by a cautious retreat, as both sides seek assurances and guarantees. Ivan and Dmitri find themselves not just negotiating terms, but also battling the skepticism and pressures from their own ranks. The turning point comes when a message arrives from the front lines, a somber reminder of the continuing cost of the conflict. The news of a devastating battle, where many have fallen, including friends and loved ones, brings a renewed urgency to the negotiations. Ivan and Dmitri, moved by the shared grief, find the resolve to push past the final barriers to peace. With a newfound determination, they work through the night, drafting a treaty that addresses the core issues of the conflict. The document is a testament to their hard-won understanding and mutual concessions. It proposes a ceasefire, the exchange of prisoners, and a plan for the reconstruction of the devastated lands. As dawn breaks, Ivan and Dmitri sign the treaty, their signatures sealing a pact that promises to end the years of strife. The moment is quiet, devoid of the fanfare one might expect, but the significance of their achievement is not lost on them. They have navigated the treacherous waters of diplomacy to find a path to peace. The news of the treaty spreads quickly, reaching the soldiers on the front lines and the citizens in the cities and villages. Reactions are mixed, with joy and relief mingling with skepticism and the deep wounds of loss. Yet, amid the tumult of emotions, there is an overarching sense of hope. The chapter closes with Ivan and Dmitri returning to their respective sides, their mission complete. They are greeted not as heroes, but as the bearers of the possibility of a new beginning. The dance of diplomacy, fraught with tension and the risk of failure, has led to the first steps towards peace. This tale of negotiation and the search for common ground serves as a powerful reminder of the strength of dialogue and the potential for reconciliation, even in the darkest of times. It underscores the importance of empathy, understanding, and the courage to reach across divides in the pursuit of a better future. Chapter 11. The Letters of Love and Loss. In the midst of war's turmoil, a quieter, more personal battle unfolds through the letters exchanged between those separated by conflict. This chapter delves into the hearts and minds of our characters, revealing the deep emotional toll of war through their written words. Nikolai, stationed far from home, writes to Elena, expressing his longing and the harsh realities he faces each day. "My dearest Eleanor," he begins, his words a mix of hope and despair. "Each dawn brings a new challenge, yet it is the thought of you that guides me through the darkest moments. The war rages on, a seemingly endless storm, but in my heart there is a beacon of light. Your love." Eleanor, in turn, writes back from the home front, her letters a lifeline for Nikolai. "Dearest Nikolai," she replies, her handwriting a testament to her unwavering spirit. "Your letters are my solace in these troubled times. The city feels empty without you, and the days pass slowly. I hold on to your words, a promise of return, a whisper of peace in the silence of waiting." Through their correspondence, we see the landscape of war from both the battlefield and the home front. Their letters speak of daily struggles, of the pain of separation, and the shared dream of a future free from the shadow of war. Meanwhile, Dmitri, grappling with the loss of comrades, writes to his family, his letters a mixture of stoicism and vulnerability. "To my beloved family," he pens, his words heavy with the weight of loss. "Today, we mourn the loss of friends, heroes who fell in the pursuit of freedom. Their sacrifice will not be forgotten, nor will the pain of this loss diminish the resolve in our hearts. We fight on, carrying their memory, their dreams of peace." His family's response is a tapestry of sorrow and strength. "Dear Dmitri," they write, their collective voice a balm for his weary soul. "Your words bring tears and pride in equal measure. We stand with you in spirit, if not in presence. Our hearts ache for those we have lost, but in your courage we find hope. Return to us safely, for you carry the dreams of those who can no longer speak." As the war continues, these letters become more than just messages. They are the threads that connect lives torn apart by conflict. They speak of small joys amidst sorrow, of the beauty of a sunrise, or the memory of a shared laughter, moments of light in the encroaching darkness. The chapter reaches its emotional climax with a letter from Ivan to his fallen friend's family. "To the family of my dearest friend," Ivan writes, his hand trembling with emotion. "It is with a heavy heart that I write to you. Your son, my brother in arms, was a beacon of courage and kindness in this tumultuous sea of war. His sacrifice will forever be etched in my heart, as will the moments we shared. I mourn with you, and I promise to carry his legacy with me, always." The response from the family is a poignant reflection of grief and gratitude. "Dear Ivan," they reply, "your words bring comfort to our grieving hearts. To know that he was loved and remembered as a friend gives us solace. We thank you for being by his side, for sharing in his journey. In your memories, he lives on, a reminder of the cost of war and the unbreakable bonds of friendship." The chapter concludes with a reflection on the power of words to bridge the vast distances created by war. Through these letters, the characters find a way to express their deepest fears, their unyielding hope, and the indelible marks of love and loss. The act of writing becomes a testament to their resilience, a way to cling to hope in the face of overwhelming despair. In the end, the Letters of Love and Loss offers a window into the soul of war, revealing that beyond the battles and the strategies, it is the human heart that endures, that loves, that grieves, and ultimately, that dreams of peace. Chapter 12. The Battle of Wills. In the heart of a land divided by war, the dawn of a decisive day breaks. The air is tense with anticipation as both sides prepare for a battle that will determine the fate of their struggle. This is not just a clash of armies. It is a battle of wills, where the spirit and resolve of every fighter will be tested. On one side, General Petrov gathers his troops, his presence commanding and steady. He addresses his soldiers, his voice resounding across the field. Today, he declares, we stand on the brink of a moment that will be remembered through the ages. It is not just our skill at arms that will lead us to victory, but our unyielding spirit. Let us fight, not just for the ground we stand on, but for the future we believe in. Across the battlefield, Commander Ivanov rallies his forces, his eyes burning with a fierce determination. This battle, he proclaims, is the culmination of all we have endured. Our resolve, our courage, and our unity are our strongest weapons. Together, we will turn the tide of this war and carve a path toward peace. As the battle commences, the air fills with the clash of steel and the cries of combatants. The ground trembles under the march of soldiers and the charge of cavalry. Arrows and cannon fire crisscross the sky, a deadly dance of war that claims many lives. Amidst the chaos, individual acts of bravery shine brightly. Nikolai, fighting in the thick of the battle, saves a comrade from certain death, his actions a testament to the bonds formed in the crucible of war. Elena, though far from the battlefield, waits with bated breath, her thoughts with those she holds dear, hoping against hope for their safe return. The battle rages on, hours stretching into eternity. Each side pushes forward, then retreats, a deadly tug of war that sees no clear victor. The fighters are exhausted, their bodies pushed to the limit, but their spirits remain unbroken. The resolve to fight, to stand up for what they believe in, fuels their continued resistance. As the sun begins to set, casting long shadows across the battlefield, a turning point is reached. A bold maneuver by General Petrov catches the opposing forces off guard, creating an opening that could lead to victory. But victory comes at a cost, and the ground is soaked with the blood of the fallen. Commander Ivanov, recognizing the tide has turned, orders a strategic retreat, his mind already planning the next move. The battle may be lost, but the war is far from over. His leadership in this moment of defeat inspires his troops, a reminder that courage is not just found in victory, but in the resilience to continue in the face of adversity. In the aftermath of the battle, the field is a somber testament to the cost of war. Both sides count their losses, mourning the heroes who will not return. Yet, in this moment of reflection, there is also a sense of respect, a recognition of the bravery and determination shown by all who fought. General Petrov and Commander Ivanov, weary but resolute, look across the battlefield, their thoughts turning to the future. They know that this battle, though pivotal, is just one chapter in a larger story. The path to peace is long and fraught with challenges, but the spirit of those who fight for it remains undiminished. The chapter closes with a quiet resolve, a promise that the battle of wills fought this day will not be in vain. The fighters and their leaders, though tested, emerge with a renewed commitment to their cause. In the face of loss and hardship, they find strength in their shared dreams of a future where the swords can be laid down and peace can finally prevail. This tale of courage, sacrifice, and resilience serves as a powerful reminder of the human capacity to endure and strive for a better tomorrow, even in the darkest of times. The Battle of Wills is not just a story of conflict, it is a testament to the indomitable spirit that drives us forward, toward hope, toward peace. Chapter 13. The Price of Peace. As the dust settles and the echoes of battle fade into silence, the land, scarred by the ravages of war, begins to reveal the true cost of the conflict. This chapter, steeped in reflection, explores the sacrifices made in the name of peace, the lives altered, and the futures reshaped by the war. In the aftermath of the pivotal battle, soldiers from both sides return home, their steps heavy with the weight of what they have witnessed and endured. The joy of survival is tempered by the grief for comrades lost, a somber reminder of the price paid for the promise of peace. Among these returning soldiers is Nikolai, who carries with him not just the physical scars of battle, but the deep, unseen wounds of war. His reunion with Elena is a poignant moment, marked by tears of relief and sorrow. Together, they mourn the friends they have lost, their grief a shared burden that strengthens their bond. The narrative then shifts to the leaders who guided their people through the tumult of war. General Petrov and Commander Ivanov, once adversaries, now find themselves united in a common purpose: to rebuild what has been destroyed and to heal the divisions that have torn their land apart. The respect forged in the heat of battle becomes the foundation for a new partnership, one focused on reconstruction and reconciliation. As the communities begin the slow process of rebuilding, the true extent of the war's devastation becomes apparent. Villages lay in ruins, fields once fertile are now barren, and families are forever changed by the absence of loved ones. The landscape bears the scars of conflict, a silent testament to the battles fought and the lives lost. Yet, amidst the destruction, there is also hope. Survivors come together, their shared experiences forging a bond that transcends former divisions. The rebuilding effort becomes a symbol of their resilience, a collective determination to restore not just buildings and roads, but the spirit of their nation. The chapter delves into the personal stories of those who have sacrificed for peace. We hear from a mother who lost her son, a young man who fought bravely for his beliefs. Her grief is profound, yet she speaks of her pride in his courage and her hope that his death will not be in vain. Her story is a poignant reminder of the human cost of war, the individual lives behind the numbers. We also learn of a farmer who returns to his fields, destroyed by the conflict, determined to sow the seeds of a new beginning. His hands, once accustomed to the rifle, now grasp the plough with a renewed purpose. His story is one of resilience, a testament to the human capacity to find hope in the midst of despair. The chapter concludes with a reflection on the legacy of the war. The peace that has been achieved is fragile, hard won through sacrifice and loss. It is a peace that must be nurtured, protected by the collective will of those who have suffered and those who dream of a future free from the shadow of conflict. This tale of loss and recovery, of despair and hope, serves as a powerful reminder of the price of peace. It is a tribute to the resilience of the human spirit, to the courage of those who fight not just on the battlefield, but for the very soul of their nation. As the story closes, we are left with a sense of solemn gratitude for the sacrifices made and a hopeful gaze toward a future where such sacrifices are no longer necessary. In the end, The Price of Peace is not just a chapter in a book, but a chapter in the lives of those who have lived through the war. It is a story of how, even in the darkest times, humanity's quest for peace and understanding can illuminate the path to a brighter tomorrow. Chapter 14. The Return of the Warriors. As the dust of war settles, the warriors make their long-awaited journey home. The roads, once pathways to battle, now lead back to the towns and villages that have awaited their return. This chapter tells the story of their return, not as triumphant heroes, but as men and women bearing the indelible marks of conflict, seeking to find their place once again in the world they fought to protect. Nikolai, among the returning soldiers, steps onto the familiar streets of his hometown. The joy of return is mingled with a sense of dislocation. The faces of friends and family are the same, yet everything feels different. The laughter of children playing in the streets echoes with the memories of comrades lost. Every corner of the town, every familiar sight, is a reminder of the time lost and the innocence that can never be reclaimed. For Nikolai, the return is a bittersweet reunion. His family embraces him, tears of relief and joy mingling with the unspoken questions in their eyes. They see the changes in him, the way his gaze drifts to the horizon, as if searching for something beyond their understanding. Nikolai tries to share his experiences, but words fail to capture the depth of what he has endured. The war has given him stories that are difficult to tell, and even harder for those who stayed behind to fully grasp. Elena, who has waited for this moment with a mix of hope and dread, sees the changes in Nikolai. She listens to his silences, understands the weight of his gaze, and offers support not through words, but through her presence. Together, they begin to navigate the challenging path of reintegration, finding solace in their shared experiences and the unspoken understanding that grows between them. For many soldiers, the return home is marked by a struggle to find normalcy. The rhythm of daily life, once so familiar, now feels disjointed. They find themselves out of step with a world that continued in their absence. Jobs, relationships, and social roles that once defined their place in society now seem foreign. The skills that ensured their survival on the battlefield have little place in the peace they fought to achieve. Community gatherings, meant to celebrate their return, often underscore their sense of isolation. The accolades and gratitude, while sincere, can't bridge the gap between those who went to war and those who stayed. The returning warriors realize that the battle for peace is fought not just on the field, but within the hearts and minds of those who return. Some, like Dmitri, turn to helping others as a way to find purpose. He volunteers to rebuild the town, channeling the leadership and resilience honored in battle into efforts to repair the physical and emotional scars left by the war. In the act of rebuilding, he finds a measure of healing, a way to make peace with his experiences. Others find solace in sharing their stories. Informal gatherings where tales of the war are exchanged become a form of therapy. These stories, told in the company of those who understand, offer a release, a way to process the trauma and begin the journey of healing. As the chapter closes, the warriors continue to navigate their return. The journey is different for each, marked by challenges and victories, setbacks and moments of clarity. The scars of war, both visible and hidden, are a testament to their sacrifice. Yet, in their struggle to reintegrate, to find a new normalcy, They embody the resilience of the human spirit. The return of the warriors is not just a story of coming home. It is a reflection on the cost of peace and the ongoing battle for reintegration faced by those who return from war. It is a reminder that the end of conflict marks the beginning of a new struggle, one that requires as much courage and resilience as the battle itself. Chapter 15. The Rebuilding Begins. As the war's tumult fades into the past, a new dawn breaks over the land. The air, once filled with the echoes of conflict, now carries a whisper of hope. The chapter unfolds in a world weary from war, but brimming with the determination to rebuild. This is a time of healing, of mending what was broken, and of forging a path toward a brighter future. In the heart of the city, where the scars of war are most visible, the people come together, united by a common purpose. Buildings that once stood as hollowed remnants of destruction now buzz with activity. Brick by brick, the citizens work to restore their homes, their streets, and their lives. The sound of construction is a steady drumbeat, a symbol of progress and perseverance. Among those leading the effort is Nikolai, now returned from the front. The soldier who once faced the grim realities of war now channels his strength into rebuilding. With each stone laid, he finds a sense of purpose, a way to honor the memories of those who cannot stand beside him. His hands, once trained for battle, now wield tools of construction, shaping a future from the ashes of the past. Elena, ever a source of compassion, turns her attention to the people around her. She organizes gatherings, spaces where individuals can share their stories, their losses, and their hopes. These meetings, simple yet profound, become a balm for the wounded soul. In the act of sharing, the community finds strength, discovering that while their experiences differ, their resolve to overcome unites them. The countryside, too, awakens to a new beginning. Fields once barren are tilled and sown with the seeds of tomorrow. Families who fled the horrors of war return to their farms, their hearts heavy with the task ahead, but lightened by the promise of growth. The cycle of the seasons, unending and relentless, serves as a reminder that from hardship can come renewal. As the country rebuilds, so too do its people mend the fabric of their relationships. Dmitri and Ivan, once adversaries, now find common ground in their shared goal of restoration. Their former rivalry, a relic of the war, gives way to collaboration. Together, they work on projects that bridge divides, building not just structures, but also bonds between their communities. The youth of the land, the children who have known only the shadow of war, are taught the values of peace and cooperation. Schools, rebuilt with the sweat and dedication of those who believe in education's power, become havens of learning. Here, the next generation is nurtured, their minds opened to the possibilities of a world where conflict is resolved, not with swords, but with words. In the evenings, as the sun sets on a day's labor, music and laughter fill the air. People gather to celebrate the small victories, the completion of a home, the harvest of a field, or simply the joy of being together. These moments, fleeting yet profound, weave a tapestry of hope, a picture of a future where war is but a distant memory. The chapter closes with a reflection on the journey from destruction to rebuilding. It is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the darkest times there is light to be found. The people, with their hands and hearts, write a new story for their land, one of peace, of unity, and of endless possibility. The Rebuilding Begins is not just a tale of physical reconstruction. It is a story of healing, of coming together to mend the wounds of the past. It is a celebration of the strength found in unity, of the beauty that arises from shared purpose, and of the unwavering hope that guides us toward a better tomorrow. Chapter 16. The Legacy of War. As the sun sets on a land scarred by years of conflict, the legacy of war is etched not only in the landscape, but in the hearts and souls of those who lived through it. This final chapter reflects on the profound impact of war, the lessons learned, and the enduring hope for a future where peace reigns supreme. The war, now at an end, leaves behind a tapestry of loss and resilience, of shattered dreams and newfound strength. Villages and cities, once bustling with life, are slowly awakening from the nightmare of destruction. Buildings stand in ruins, fields lay fallow, but the spirit of the people remains unbroken. They are the true survivors. Their will to rebuild a testament to the enduring human spirit. Among them, our heroes, Nikolai and Elena, Dmitri and Maria, return to their homes, forever changed by their experiences. They carry with them not just the physical scars of battle, but the emotional burdens of war. For them, the return to normalcy is a journey fraught with challenges as they grapple with the memories of what was lost and the task of rebuilding what remains. Nikolai, once a young soldier full of ideals, now contemplates the true cost of war. He sees the fields where he once played as a child, now marred by the scars of battle, and wonders at the price of peace. Yet, within him, burns a flame of hope, a determination to contribute to the rebuilding of his land and the healing of his people. Eleanor, who waited and hoped through the darkest days, now channels her strength into helping her community rise from the ashes. She organizes gatherings to rebuild homes, plant new gardens, and mend the fabric of their society. Her resolve inspires those around her, reminding them that together they can overcome any adversity. Dmitri, bearing the weight of leadership, takes on the responsibility of guiding his people towards reconciliation and peace. He works with former enemies to bridge the divides that the war had deepened, understanding that true peace requires forgiveness and cooperation. Maria, who tended to the wounded and comforted the grieving, now turns her attention to the orphans and widows, the most vulnerable victims of the conflict. Her compassion and efforts to provide them with care and hope embody the collective desire to heal and move forward. As the seasons change, the land begins to heal. Fields are sown with new crops, homes are rebuilt, and laughter returns to the streets. The war becomes a memory, a dark chapter in their history. But from its ashes rises a community stronger and more united than before. The legacy of war, however, is not forgotten. It lives on in the stories of bravery and sacrifice, of loss and love, passed down through generations. These stories serve as a reminder of the cost of freedom, the value of peace, and the resilience of the human spirit. The final message of this chapter, and indeed of our story, is one of hope. It is a call to remember the lessons of the past, to cherish the peace that has been won with such great sacrifice, and to work together for a future where such conflicts are no more. In the hearts of those who lived through the war, there burns an eternal flame of hope, a hope for a world where understanding and compassion prevail, where differences are resolved not on the battlefields, but through the bonds of shared humanity. As the book closes, the sun rises on a new day, symbolizing the dawn of a new era. An era where the legacy of war is not one of perpetual conflict, but a stepping stone towards lasting peace. This is not the end of the story, but the beginning of a new chapter in the lives of our heroes and their nation, a chapter where peace prevails, and the human spirit continues to shine brightly against the backdrop of history. And so, our journey through this epic tale comes to a close. We've travelled together through the highs and lows of war and peace, witnessed the resilience of the human spirit, and seen the dawn of hope in the aftermath of conflict. This story, inspired by the classic War and Peace, has been a testament to the power of storytelling in learning and improving our English. We hope you found this journey both enlightening and engaging. If this story has touched your heart, sparked your imagination, or helped you in your English learning journey, please take a moment to press the like button. Your support means the world to us at WooEnglish and encourages us to continue creating content that combines the joy of reading with the journey of language learning. But the adventure doesn't have to end here. Visit WooEnglish.com to download PDF versions of this story and many others. Our collection is tailored to help you improve your English with stories that cater to various levels and interests. Before you go, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. Share your thoughts about the story, your favourite moments, or how it has helped you in your language learning journey. Your feedback not only inspires us, but also helps create a community of learners who share a passion for English and storytelling. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Until next time, keep reading, keep learning, and keep dreaming in English.